What up, y'all? Double coverage here. It's your boy Logan and your boy Jaeden. And we're going to be talking about the top 10 quarterbacks of 2025. So we're going to jump right into this.
At number 10, I got Joe Brr.
Joe Brr at number 10?
Yeah, I got Joe Brr. I got him at stats, 66.8% pass completion, 1,800 passing yards, a 7.0 yards per attempt, 17 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 41 rushing yards. And my main things are when he came back from injury, he bounced back with an elite performance, but because of his injury, it wasn't enough to get me past the top 10.
At my 10, I got the rookie quarterback out of New York, Jackson Dart. He went 15 for 5, so 5 interceptions on 15 touchdowns. He had 2,272 yards, which was 26 in the NFL, but, he got injured. He played, 15 games. But the main reason I have him at 10 is because his interceptions, he was tied 4th for the least amount of interceptions in the NFL. And he's a rookie, so give him numbers there.
It's quite impressive.
What's your 9?
Right, number 9? All right, at number 9, I got Jared Goff with a 68% completion, 4,564 pass yards, 7.9 yards per attempt, 34 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 45 rush yards, and 6 fumbles. My main stats for him is he's an elite passer with an elite offense, and he's got surgical accuracy. I just think him and his team collapsed, and I just don't think they performed high enough to get him past number 9.
Okay, so for my number 9, I got Joe Brr. You already said his stats, so I'm not going to say his stats again. But the thing that impressed me the most is he threw 17 touchdowns in only 8 games. That's what really impressed me. And
yeah,
that's what got him to jump from 10 to 9, because he still performed really good for only playing half the season.
I really wish we saw his full season. He probably would have been in top 3 for me.
Yeah.
And at number 8, I got Caleb Williams, 57.3% pass completion rate, 4,560 pass yards, 6.9 yards per attempt, 31 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 448 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 10 fumbles. My main stats for him are his clutch performance. He broke the Bears' single season pass yard record, and he has big play capability.
At my number 8, I have Jordan Love for the Packers. He had a great season, throwing for 3,381 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, tied 8th. His QBR is what really got me to put him at 8. He was the 3rd best in the league, sitting at 72.7.
At number 7, I got Sam Darnold with a 66.7% completion rate, 4,720 passing yards, 8.3 yards per attempt. Almost led the league in that, by the way. 30 passing touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 109 rushing yards, 0 rushing touchdowns, and 12 fumbles. And my main things for him are he extended plays with, just with his feet. He's elite, bars. He scrambled in key spots. He's, Super Bowl champ, of course. But I don't think he did much in their 2 out of 3 of their postseason wins, which is why he is at number 7.
At my number 7, I have Jalen Hurts. And, he didn't perform as good as he did last year, but he still performed. So I'm going to give him a solid 7. He was sitting at 3,224 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. Quarterback rating is what brought him so low in mine, was that he was at 55. That's 20th in the NFL. That's not good. But I would put him up here because he still led the Eagles to the playoffs, at least.
So at number 6, I got Trevor Lawrence, with a 60.8% pass completion rate, 4,214 passing yards, 7.1 yards per attempt, 32 passing touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 390 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, and only 5 fumbles. This has been the best football of his career. He has laser accuracy, and he's an elite dual threat. And that's what's pushed him so far for me. Even though he didn't, He
couldn't get past the Bills, but it's okay.
Yeah.
At my number 6, I have Lamar Jackson, sitting at a 21-7 season, throwing for 2,504 yards, and he did all that in 13 games. So I have him up that high. Again, I love that QBR stat, which is quarterback rating. I have him at 62.7, which is 9th in the NFL. I'll give him that. He also had a rough season of injuries, but he still performed. He had 21 touchdowns on 7 interceptions. He had multiple 3-touchdown games, and he can still work with his legs. So that's why I have him at 6.
At number 5, I have Justin Herbert. 66.1 completion rate. 3,886 passing yards, 7.2 yards per attempt, 26 passing touchdowns, 13 interceptions, which isn't great. That's a 2-for-1 touchdown to interception ratio. But what really impressed me is his 555 rush yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 9 fumbles. I think he has an elite efficiency, elite accuracy, and he was 5th in the league on target percentage at 77%.
At my number 5, I have good old Patrick Mahomes. He put up 3,587 yards playing 14 games. He could have easily got to the 4,000 mark. He did have a bad touchdown to interception ratio, which was 2-1, 22 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. But again, he did that all in 14 games. So who could know what he could have done in the last 3? But that's why I have him at 5.
Could have thrown at least 3 more interceptions. All right. So at number 4, I got Drake May. With a completion rate of 69.3%, 5,222 passing yards, 8.5 yards per attempt, 37 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 628 rush yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, and a really bad 15 fumbles. But that's a historical sophomore performance. Elite play under pressure and accuracy, and he was the MVP runner-up. I mean, how much better does it get than that? And he made it to the Super Bowl. And he made it to the Super Bowl.
Great sophomore season. I expect a lot more out of him next season. I also expect the Patriots to give him a little bit more help on offense because Stephon Diggs ain't doing that. At my number 4, I have Caleb Williams. And again, I have him a lot higher than you. You guys know his stats. But what impressed me the most is this man almost threw for 4,000 yards. That's what got me and put him up that high. He also led the Bears, which was a very questionable team. He led them very far, and they performed very well.
That's hard to do, man.
It is.
At number 3, I have the man, the myth, the legend, Dak Prescott. Ooh. So with him being at 67.3% completion rate, 4,552 passing yards, 7.6 yards per attempt, 30 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, which is a 3-1. That's very good. 177 rush yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and only 6 fumbles. He led the league in QBR, so good shit, can't really say much more about that. He elevated his offense behind 2 of the best, in my opinion, wide receivers, in the league. Now, they may not have performed the best, but I do think he is the best wide receiver core.
Definitely the best, one of the best offenses in the league, one of the most high-powered.
For sure. Absolutely.
So at my number 3, I have Trevor Lawrence. He threw for 4,007 yards, which was 6th in the NFL. He had 29 touchdowns, which was 5th in the NFL. But the only thing that really held him back, which kept him in number 3 and not any higher, was his 12 interceptions, which is tied 31st for the worst.
A lot of those, too, weren't his fault.
Honestly, yes. That is not a lie, but it's still a stat that you have to look at.
Yes,
but yes, he played the best football he's played in his whole fucking career. He threw 60% completion rating, made it to the postseason with a Jaguars team, which fell short against the Bills, but they played a really good game against the Bills, though.
So at my number 2, I got Josh Allen. 69.7% completion rate, 4,224 passing yards, 7.9 yards per attempt, 29 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 678 rush yards, which is, again, elite. 16 rushing touchdowns, and 10 fumbles. And for my main focuses for this is his elite efficiency, his elite dual threat capability, and his playmaking under pressure. And honestly, in my short professional opinion here, I have Josh Allen as a future Hall of Famer.
Exactly. I agree with that. So I agree so much with that I also have Josh Allen at number 2. And what's really pushed that to me was him having 14 rushing touchdowns on top of his 25 regular season touchdowns. You added the 4 that he had in the postseason, so technically he had 29. But that's what really pushed it on top of me. What he could have brought down to really get me confident more of putting him higher would have definitely been the touchdown or the interceptions. He was tied 23rd for the interceptions. But other than that, Josh Allen had a really good season, and it's sad that he fell down the way he did. But, hey, I expect great things out of him. He just needs a little bit more help, mainly on, receiving end.
Yeah.
So who you got at number 1?
All right, so at number 1, I got the man, the myth, the legend, The 2025 NFL MVP, Matthew Stafford, at 63.4% completion rate, 5,643 pass yards, 7.9 yards per attempt, 52 passing touchdowns with only 9 interceptions, 16 rush yards, which, he's not a runner, so it's fine. 0 rushing touchdowns and 10 fumbles. Again, the 2025 NFL MVP, the PFWA MVP, first team All-Pro, and a 0.7% turnover rate.
Yeah. I have him on my number 1 too, and that should be an obvious for anybody who watches NFL. Almost 5,000 yards is fucking absurd. If you add the postseason, he went well over 5,000 yards. But regular season alone, 4,707 yards, led the league in that. 46 touchdowns, led the league in that. 71.2 QBR, 4th in the league in that. And interceptions, he was tied 17th for 8 interceptions, which is really good. So if you put that into perspective, I can't even do that fucking math because I'm not that fucking smart. But 46 touchdowns to 8 interception ratio is fucking insane.
It's high. That's what
that's one of the best stat lines I've seen, and I truly do think that offense is gonna stay hot going into next year. But
100%.
That's just me. But that's our list of top 10 quarterbacks of the 2025 season. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Stay tuned because next video is going to be about the wide receiver rankings, top 10 there. So let's get to it.
Let's get it.